Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your Farming Simulator 15 Christmas special. I know I said I'd do an hour of real-time work, but I'm doing the beats still at least, that's living up to what I said. The walking around doesn't last long, trust me. It just, no. Yeah. This is all 4 times speed, and yes, I am talking over sped up footage, which is very rare. Also, these corners were hell. So yeah. I know I said I'd do an hour doing beats. I actually did the entire field. And then another thing that we'll get to in a bit. And then the third thing that we'll get to at the very end. But yeah. This was not particularly fun. I stayed up all night doing this, recording this, over the course of about 8 or 10 hours. And I enjoyed myself, don't get me wrong, I enjoyed myself, but good lord, this was a long time to work on this. The thing, the colors are about as good as I can get them, so that's the best I can do, unfortunately. And yeah, I decided to go with the Massey, by the way, because, well, it's Christmas, so you know, I figured red was the best color for doing the beats. Everything else that I did was just kind of on a whim. But yeah. Let me think about things, because, oh my god, I'm tired. Yeah, I'm not going to be particularly talkative throughout this video because, number one, I'm tired, number two, it's a long video. I think the best thing to do is actually talk about kind of where I think the channel is now and where it's come in the past year. And yes, I'm completely out of character for this video. I think I said I would be in character, but quite honestly, I just can't come up with a storyline for all of this. So yeah, that's the truth. I just can't come up with a storyline to last just over an hour and 20 minutes. So you're gonna have to put up with me nattering out about nothing in particular. So this time last year, I was well, the Christmas special was on Cobra Park Farm. Not Cobra Park Farm. Cobra Park Farm was actually in the middle of last year. The Christmas special last year was on Westbridge Hills, and that was my original Farm Sim 15 series. So that was right at the start of the channel. I had not very many subs. I think I can get up the number of subs that I had this time last year if I go into this and this this custom range. So if I go from, say, May 2015 to December 25th, May 2014, April 2014 to December 25th, 2014, I had I had 21 subscribers. way back when I was on Westbridge Hills. This day last year, Christmas Day. And now there are 464 of you guys. Right, well, as I'm recording this. I know there have been some peaks and some drops. Kind of describe my year in general. You guys know most of the troughs. I haven't really talked about the peaks, and they're all kind of personal peaks that within my own personal life that I don't really want to talk about, and I brought on some troughs as well. But you know, I guess everybody has years where, well, every year has its ups and downs. Some years have more ups than downs, some years have more downs than ups, and I kind of count 2015 as one that had some pretty big downs, especially in the last month or so. And I know that I had to take a break, and you all know why. If you don't, just look back through the channel, there are a couple of videos explaining why I took a small break in the middle of the month. I'm going to take another one after this video. I'll be back in 2016, so this one is by choice. This one is just so that I can have Christmas, a proper Christmas, without any worries about anything. Because the last few years, the last 4 years, there were a lot of worries and a lot of concerns, and kind of there was a bit of down over Christmas, and there will be this year, and I know it, but it's the first Christmas in 4 or 5 years now where there's no imminent concern. There are some concerns and some stuff that will probably happen in 2016 that won't be very good, and I will probably have to take another break in 2016. We'll cross that bridge when it comes to it. But yeah, I just kind of, I'm not worn out of YouTube. I am in no way worn out of making videos. Yeah, it's not a video related burnout that I'm kind of suffering at the moment. It's just, I think it's more of a general burnout that I've kind of run myself into somehow. And it's probably just because of the events of the last few weeks. So yeah, I'm gonna take not a full week, because I do want to get back to videos on January 1st, which is going to be a Friday. I do want to get back to videos on January 1st, so I'll get videos done for then. I'll have a New Year's special, which I'll talk about later. Actually, I came up with the idea about 20 minutes ago for what I'm going to do for New Year's, to ring in 2016. So I'll talk about that later, I guess. Because I did record the end of this video already, and the whole outro bit, which is odd. And I will be passing over to Past Me at the very end to finish off the Christmas special. But yeah, 2015, I think for the channel it's been a good year. I mean, we've picked up 440 subscribers in a year. That's averaging more than one a day, which is, I know this for a fact, 90% of you guys just found me randomly, found this channel completely at random by doing a search for Farm Sim, or doing a search for courseplay tutorials, or doing a search for, you know, whatever. Because I don't generally, I'm actually a bad YouTuber by doing what I do. Generally speaking, I don't. And by the way, the heap trigger you saw me dump down there was actually a mistake. Down this end of the field. That was a mistake. I'd accidentally hit Control R instead of Control Tab. I don't generally market the channel at all. I do like talk about it with friends, and they get really irritated because they don't like farm sim. But kind of, I'm not the kind of person who's gonna go out and comment on 50 videos a day saying, hey, nice video, you should totally check out my channel. And if I see somebody do it on one of my videos, luckily YouTube's spam filter usually picks it up. If it doesn't, I will delete that comment because I don't particularly appreciate that. But yeah, I'm not big into selling the channel, I guess. I know I probably should be. There was, of course, the 2-part collab with A Shadowbox FSX. Sorry, A Shadowbox. A Shadowbox. Because I can't figure out how to pronounce A Shadowbox SFX. A Shadowbox is FSX. Yeah, that. And Dr. Vesuvius. Conveniently has been promoted by Dirt Hebbers, so if you indirectly came here via Dirt Hebbers, who was one of the inspirations behind me starting the channel and the storyline, you kind of probably would have guessed that because Dirt Hebbers was one of the... I think he kind of started off Farm Sim storyline Let's Plays. He's far better at it than me. But he does work in broadcasting, I don't. And who's just sent me a message? My friend Sean has just sent me a message on Viber. I'll reply to that later. Ooh, my phone needs charging. The wonderful world of me where I completely forget everything all at the same time. Including what I was just talking about. Well done, me. Dirt Hebbers in the storyline Let's Plays. Yes. He's far better at it than me, but he works in broadcasting. I don't. Technically speaking, I don't have a job that pays at the moment. So I guess technically I'm unemployed. Realistically, I'm kind of working 2 jobs. I count this as a job. Yes, it's a hobby, and I absolutely love it as a hobby, but I do try and take it seriously enough to get a video out a day. When I can, obviously there are going to be times where I just plain can't. And, yeah, when I can, I'll get a video out a day. But I haven't really... Well, I have. I've taken like a couple of weeks off here and there, but recorded in advance so that I could do it. This month, December 2015, has been the month from hell. Essentially, with everything that went on at the start of the month, and I think I might have come back a bit too quickly, but I wanted to get some more videos out for Christmas, and I wanted to do Christmas specials, so I kind of came back when I felt I needed to. More than anything else. And YouTube for me, and I'm sure for many people, many YouTubers, it's almost like recording a video is almost like therapy, because I can talk about whatever I want to talk about for half an hour, 20 minutes, half an hour, 45 minutes in the case of the last episode on Knuston where I spoke, and almost an hour and a half here. And the reason I've arbitrarily extended the special from 1 hour to what amounted to about 7 hours of footage, and good lord, that was intense last night, recording all that. Fun, but intense. Well, kind of... I'm getting mixed up with myself now. YouTube is like therapy because I think everybody who makes videos does this. We all play characters to a certain extent. And you know, Rainbow Dave is my character. I'm not particularly talkative in real life. If I know you or if if I'm hanging out with you, I will be just insanely talkative. I am like this when I'm having one of my confident days, which are rare. Or if I'm just one-on-one with somebody, I will just talk and talk and talk. But if I'm in a group, and it might not have come out well over the collab, because we did actually talk for about 5 or 10 minutes before we started recording. I am, and in groups of 3, generally I get on reasonably well. Like 2 other people, I get on reasonably well. But anything more than that, and I'm just like completely silent, sat in the corner crying or something. I'm not outgoing. Oh boy, that's an understatement. I much prefer, and people who know me in real life will tell you this, I much prefer sitting in front of my computer than going out the front door and doing something. Now, I've been doing it recently because, unfortunately, I am back smoking because of everything I'm dealing with, stress and blah 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 blah, excuses. I'm gonna quit again in 2016. I'm gonna make some big changes for myself in 2016. I'm planning. I don't know how well this is gonna go, but I've got a couple of friends who have said they're willing to help. I'm planning on working on my fitness, because right now I actually get a bit of breakfast going upstairs, which is not good. A flight of stairs can actually wind me, which that's kind of a big red flag to me that says, dude, you have gone too far in the laziness. You need to start getting up, getting out and going for a walk. And the last 2 times I went on reasonable length walks. And reasonable being, the first one was about 5 miles, the second one over the course of a day was probably about 10. But the last 2 times my left knee essentially exploded. I couldn't walk for a couple of days afterwards. That's not normal. That's my body telling me, whoa, what are you doing? Stop doing this. I need to start going for more walks. I need to start eating less, because oh my god, I am a fat ass when it comes to that. I don't think I actually ate all that much when I was recording this, mainly because it was the middle of the night and I didn't want to screw up my rhythm too much. And before you start getting concerned, by the way, I say this 20 minutes in, I didn't sleep last night because I woke up at 5 o'clock yesterday evening. I didn't get out of bed until about 7 yesterday evening, and yeah, I'm gonna have a bit of a nap later on today. Possibly while this is rendering, because I'm anticipating it taking quite a while. I'm gonna have a bit of a nap just to kind of sleep off the worst of the tiredness, and then I'm going to go to bed early tonight, and while this is uploading. And for the first time in a while, I can say that sincerely, I'm going to be uploading a video overnight, and tomorrow night my computer will actually be switched off for the first time in a few days. What's the current uptime? Recipe plan, there we go. The current uptime on my computer is not being shown in that. 7 days. Also, all of my cores are inexplicably really pushed at the moment. What's causing this? Are they all like up near 100%? Yes, what's causing this? Oh, it's Sony Vegas. Does that fix it a bit? No. That should fix it a bit. Yeah, it's fixed it a lot. So, I'm watching a very blurry image now instead of the high quality image I was watching, which was a bit of a silly mistake. And yes, I am watching the video as I'm recording this. just so that I can get the link at the end timed properly, and so that I can comment on random things that are going on. So yeah, I've switched up the harvest method I've been using so many times already. Good lord, I've gone around and around, then up and down the sides, and now I'm going around and around again. I will switch up 1 or 2 more times. But as you can see, I was recording this and I was kind of getting surprised by how quickly I was going. Now I do end up getting a bit bored and just blasting around at max speed in the RKS, but that was more a convenience thing than anything else. So yeah, now I was a bit concerned as well for the fuel in the Massey, because you can see it's running a bit low, and I think I do fuel it up towards the end of the harvesting segment. Now, the harvesting segment, as I'm calling it, is actually the harvest, and then I do move all the beets up into storage, and I do open up the PDA mod that I have that I never use. Remember that? From Clover Park Farm, where I was constantly using it? Yeah, I've still got that mod. I still use it occasionally. Very occasionally, very rarely, and it's normally off camera. Just to reference stuff with myself. But yeah, I've completely lost track of what I was talking about before I got distracted by the harvester. Why do I still have fraps open? Those fraps. There we go. I'm doing several other things at the same time as recording this, because it's 2:20 in the afternoon, and I'm trying to get as much done as I can. So people, I'm gonna talk about this for a bit. I've been asked on multiple occasions, is this map is Mulroy Bay, or not Mulroy Bay, is my version of Knuston going to be released? The answer is no, because I don't have permission. Now, if you want to do this yourself, I can record a video where I do re-edit the map, because, well, I can show you what buildings I put in, what I did to them, is what I'm trying to say. I'm not going to re-edit the map. I do want/need to make 1 or 2 small edits extra, and I'll actually have to do that after I've cultivated, because I'll need to do another GRLE swap. Fun time! And this is where I try to start doing the third different method of harvesting. Straight down the centre, and now up through the centre again. Around here. So, yeah. The edits I've done here are actually really simple. I haven't deleted anything out of the scene graph because I don't trust myself to. So I just moved everything that was there on the ground. That's why there's the invisible fences. That's kind of a relic of me moving stuff under the ground and not double checking that I actually moved the collisions. So that's the main edit I want to make. The second one is I actually want to open up the area around the compost master a bit more, and I think that's about it, is it? I'm toying with the idea of putting pigs and beef in, but I'm not 100% sure if that's really a good idea, because it's just going to end up being a ton of extra work for me. Now I do the conveyor belt. Wait. I think I've got two conveyor belts. I don't know if I bought them both on camera, but I got two here. Now if I did get pigs and beef, I'll probably buy another one or two to get the manure out of them. But the issue is, and I've come across this already, because this isn't the original edited version of Knuston. The original edited version of Knuston had no field 7. And what happened with the original edited version of Knuston was I deleted stuff out of the scene graph, and it messed up the map because I didn't replace it. The positions in the scene graph with empty items, I just left them as they were. So what I might do for the sake of FPS is delete stuff and move stuff about a small bit, just so that it goes into a bit more of a logical system. For example, the silage planes over the cows. Number one, I want to actually make them slightly bigger. They are too small at the moment. They're only 150,000 litres. That is too small. I'm going to double them both. Number two, I actually want to make. They are in the scene graph with the BGA. They're in that area of the scene graph because I just duplicated them from the BGA, rescaled them, and changed the capacity to 150,000 or 125,000 or something in that area. Less than 200,000. And yeah, I want to. Ooh, something just fell outside. I want to parent them to the actual clamp building that I have. Because I really like the NI modding stuff. So I'm going to parent the silage planes to the NI modding building, so that if I want to move them at a later date, I can with less problems. Conversely, if I want to clone it, because if I do have pigs and beef, I will be putting in 2 extra silage clamps, 2 extra sets, which probably isn't the best idea with the Fazio extension, but it would be a better idea in terms of actually getting feed around the place. Now the issue I have, if I were to put pigs and beef in, is the best place for them to go is pretty much where I'm harvesting right now. It's field 7, so I would lose field 7. As a result, I'm kind of thinking, well, if I want to put pigs and beef in, I'm going to wait until I have another field, so that I'm not losing out on crops and actually making, I guess, a net gain in crops. Because, you know, I'm field 7 is probably the smallest field on the map, which is why I did beets here. I knew the RKS4 was tiny, I knew it would be painful, but I wanted to do bee harvest with it, which I know I've done a lot with Roy. I want to do one here just for the sake of it. What else? Yeah, if and when I go to put pigs and beef in field 7 will be deleted, and I'll try and disable the field boundary and all that kind of stuff, so that I don't get soil mod errors, essentially. And if I do, it's no big shame. I can just ignore them. But yeah. And actually, on the topic of maps, because I've been asked this a few times as well. People have been asking me, Donetsk going to be released? The answer is yes. I'm making that map myself, primarily, yes. But I make videos. It's in my best interest for me to have a map where if I want to edit it, I can do it and release the edit on Dropbox or Mediafire or something. And, you know, that way you guys can play along and I'll make the edits so that you don't have to change a save game or start again. I may have a little tutorial if I have to do GRLE swap and have to do that, although David Oldfield already did it. I would do it again just to let you guys know exactly how it's done, because I know some of you don't follow modding all that much. And David Oldfield does tend to be very heavy on the modding side. If he finds something wrong with the vehicle, he mods it out. If he thinks of something he wants in a vehicle, he mods it in. I'm more of a map person because I am useless with scripting. Which is comical because I want a lot of scripts in my map. Or in Donetsk. But the scripts that I've put into Pigs and Beef I haven't put into maps before. That's it. I'm planning on putting in Compost, which I have in this, it works perfectly. I may do some tinkering with the Compost Master to up the capacity to about 500,000, because I think 100,000 is a bit low. And, here's where that pile fills up, so I'm just going to plop one down a little field here, just for convenience sake. Yeah, the Compost Master, I might up the capacity to 250,000 or something like that, because even when I'm editing the map, because I think the 100,000 that it is now, yes, it works for the Compost Master, however, it is realistically just that bit low, especially for the throughput that I'm putting, you know, the amount of material I'm putting through it. It's just inconvenient more than anything else. So, I think I'm going to edit that if I can. I'm going to keep the speed roughly the same so that it just loads more and unloads more. And I might not be doing modern map showcases at the moment, or map spotlights, but I am watching other YouTubers on other maps, and I'm looking at the maps and thinking, okay, well, how have they implemented this and how have they done this, and I like what they've done with this particular thing here. It's mainly the Compost Master. I'm actually really enjoying looking at the different ways people have implemented it. I have it in Knuston here, completely vanilla. I've not touched it. It's all in just one big block. I think I might have got rid of like one small thing from it. But other than that, it's just one big block. I just pasted it in straight up. So it's as you would install it yourself. And the only reason I have the Compost Master is just so that so that I can break even. Because Soil Mod and the Tax Office mod do not play nicely together on hard. Did I mention I'm playing on hard? Soil Mod, Tax Office, hard. And I do have quite a lot of equipment, because I'm not planning on selling any of the older style equipment. Now I've forgotten the name of it. Wonderful. The Marshall trailer, yes, that. Once I upgrade to a bigger trailer, I'll most likely get rid of the Marshall. The little green tipper from LS11 is going to stay because that takes manure, and I kind of need a trailer that can take manure because I'm going to be carrying that around quite a bit. And wow, we're quickly approaching about halfway on this this post-commentary session, and I'm surprised. Sorry for the background noise. Somebody has decided not to go shopping today, which I completely understand. And I think it's almost definitely my dad, and he's sweeping the hall. So apologies if there's any sweepy sounding background noise. I know I've got a deeper voice than usual, by the way. This is what happens when I get tired. So if you ever hear me and I've got this bit of a deep voice on, it's probably a combination of me being tired and the cigarettes. So yeah. Don't smoke, kids. Seriously, don't. It's a really, 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 really insanely dumb thing to do. I do it because I'm an idiot. I openly admit that I'm an idiot. I'm a hungry idiot, apparently. My stomach's growling at me. But yeah, I don't know. Do you know, I'm gonna say right now what my hopes for 2016 is. And my hope for 2016 for the channel is that we can get up to 1,000 subs. I think that's realistic. I mean, we made 450 this year. And that's from being tiny, and there has been a bit of a growth spurt. There have been a few little growth spurts over time. I'm just going to go less 365 days. It's been pretty solid. There was one day back in October where the channel got 7 subscribers. One day in February we got 6. But overall it's kind of been, just looking at the graph here, and it's kind of been, yeah, it's kind of been much the same throughout the lifetime of the channel, which is good, I have to say. And one day we lost 3, another 15. What the deuce did I do on the 15? Was that during my break where I lost subscribers? That's a shame. But yeah, overall the channel's been on the up and up, and I hope that the positivity and growth continues. I really do, and I think if I record my Christmas special 2016, which I have no idea what game it's going to be in. Assuming Cattle and Crops isn't a hoax, and I've heard stories that it is potentially UIG, which, considering the new professional farmer is actually a farm expert, or whatever they're calling it this year, AgriSim, considering UIG's latest sim has actually been announced and it's not Cattle and Crops, that kind of ups my hopes a tiny bit for Cattle and Crops being legit. Well, having good potential, shall we say. I'm not going to say it's legit or not. There are obviously rumours that it's a hoax and that it's an edited version of Farmstone 15, where they've managed to get themselves into the coding and make custom shaders, which I'm not a fan of the idea, but I can see exactly where people are coming from, because a lot of those vehicles that are in the teaser trailer, and you know that there hasn't been much information. Well, there hasn't been any information since. A lot of vehicles that were in the teaser trailer did look farm simmy. And here I am bringing the New Holland down to, oh, there we go with the beacons, down to the field here, just while I'm unloading. There we go. hop back into your case, and get back harvesting. Gatling Crops does look suspicious. A lot of the vehicles they've used in the teaser trailer and some of the pictures do look like farm sim mods. Now, I'm one of those people who I think it could easily be a hoax, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's a hoax. I think it's actually a good way of getting Giants to up their game, and that's precisely what Giants have done of late. With the increase in social media presence. I disagree with the methods if it's a hoax, because it is essentially toying with the community, which is already in trouble. Big trouble. Oh my god. I'm actually going to talk in a few minutes about some more troubles that partially the reason that I'm kind of retiring the modern map spotlights. The community is just a disaster. Modders are quitting left, right and centre. And it's... Farm Sim, I think, is a dying game. And if Giants don't do something drastic with Farm Sim 17, like... I don't know. Well, fix the physics, introduce new crops, which would be nice. Have some form of soil mod light or maybe even deformable terrain, which David Olfie keeps talking about. Deformable terrain would actually improve Farm Sim tenfold. Just that one change would improve Farm Sim. Because then you have to worry about where you're driving a lot more instead of just having, well, you got drawn on tire tracks. Okay. Deformable terrain would actually excite me about Farm Sim 17 if that was a thing. What else would excite me about Farm Sim 17? Obviously the big Agco presence. That's going to be pretty cool with the Massies. I'm hoping, because it's me, I'm hoping they actually get the licenses to use some older Massies and some older vehicles, and that the map released is going to be... The map released with the game is going to be a UK and Ireland style map, with UK and Ireland style fields and, you know, an actual working hired worker rather than the cluster we have now. But yeah, I would like to see UK Giants take on a British or Irish style map. That would excite me. Going by what Giants did with FS15, well, 13 and 15, Gold was the big, not Gold, Titanium was the big expansion to 13 that had Whisper Chills. That made its way into 15 with minor edits, and to be honest, it doesn't come anywhere near Bjorn Home in terms of quality. So Giants are upping their game in terms of the map. Sosnovka is a massive improvement even over Bjorn Home, which I honestly thought that was a good map. There's the RKS4 going into the Shed of Retirement, and now we're going to set up the conveyor belt for the Massey to pick up the rest of the beats off the field. And I'm going to light a cigarette, because why not? Farm Sim 17 needs a lot of improvements, and I think Giants... How do I put this without sounding salty or, you know, angry with Giants? I can't. So I'm just gonna say this straight out. I think Giants have Actually, this isn't even going to sound salty. It's going to sound disappointed more than anything else. I think Giants have kind of been a bit arrogant of late, and the development track the Farm Sim 15 took kind of showed Giants' arrogance. The script documentation, I'm not going to complain about that too much. It had about the same time frame as the scripting docs for 2013. People just made a big deal of it because the general release of Farm Sim 15 was an absolute disaster for Giants. I bought it on Steam because I genuinely prefer having games on Steam than individual launchers. And I got it almost a day late. The same with the Gold Edition. And that really, really, really annoyed me. And yeah, there was so much broken in FS15. Bales were a bit wonky, and they fixed it, and then the bales inexplicably managed to break 2 weeks later again. Giants locking script is still an absolute disaster and a joke. And I think that's the thing that Giants need to work on the most of anything, is their own locking script, which sometimes decides not to grab things, sometimes decides I'm never letting go. What else could Giants improve on? The vehicles and equipment, I think are thereabouts right now. I think they're pretty close to... I'm not going to say perfect. They're pretty close to what I would expect of a high quality game. Yes, they're still a bit cartoony, yes, at the beginning, and this took a while for Giants to dial out, and this is my main source of aggravation with Giants, is it took them an age to fix vehicle handling. And it's the same with every Farm Sim. Every time a new Farm Sim comes out, the vehicles handle like hot air balloons, and I don't know why. It's just Giants don't seem to get to grips with physics. Which, why would you release what is essentially a physics-based game, especially if you're using bales? Well, I think the big question, the better way to phrase this is, why would you claim you've improved physics when the vehicles handle the exact same way they did in FS13 at launch? That's not improving physics, that's just lying. Bales, yes, they do handle better. In Giants Lock Strip, as I've said, does need some improvements. But I don't think that's the main problem. And no, I was going to say the main problem isn't Giants' fault. Yes, it is. The main problem is that for, I think it was patch 1.3, Giants openly said, you know what, we're gonna just screw PC, well, I'll paraphrase, but they essentially said, you know what, we're gonna screw people who already own the game on PC, and we're gonna concentrate on our console stuff, and then they'll eventually get patch 1.3 and the modding documentation, whatever. And that was the biggest cause of aggravation to the community. And that's kind of... that's where I think Giants have fallen down a bit. Is they can't seem to get their priorities straight. I think, and I honestly think the Giants are trying their damnedest to get their priorities right. But they're they're failing. They're really, really trying, but they're just not getting it right. And that's irritating. It's not making me angry, it's just irritating to see them. You know, they did do all the work. They did all the work right. They fixed as much as they could have fixed. But it was the time frame and the mindset they had that I thought was wrong. And the mindset was, well, we can make more money by releasing the console version and then fixing the PC version. And that may be true. Also, I just did a drive-by loading with Massey. That was kind of cool. I think that's kind of where the community... Well, the community started falling apart in 2013, but that's where the community really started going, hang on a second, Giants are doing something wrong here. And they kind of proved it by releasing some DLC while everybody was waiting for the patch to fix the game. And if you were around at the time... Oh, there I am for the Massey. If you were around at the time on the channel, you will have heard me being salty as hell. And I don't take back a word I said. I thought that releasing a DLC, a paid DLC, when everybody was waiting on a patch to fix the game, was just a money grab. I thought that... I still think that. I think that releasing the console versions before you fix the version that people already own, and, you know, treat your actual customers with dignity and respect, is a money grab. And I think Giants kind of made the mistake with FS15 of... That's the same mistake they made in 2013, I will admit it. They seem to prioritize... Well, 2013 was actually good because of the mods, and that's going to be an issue I'll touch on in a second. 2015, FS15 for me, at least the way Giants seem to want to portray it, is a vessel for selling DLC. It is a vessel where you buy the game, and then you buy all the DLC afterwards, and you give Giants all the money ever, and blah blah blah, we'll fix it eventually, just let us get this DLC out first. Or let us release the console version first, or whatever. And that's what aggravates me, is the Giants seem to prioritize making money over actually keeping their customers. And that's gonna come bite them. That's gonna get them. I think that's gonna be that if, you know, the Homer DLC isn't the most fantastical thing that's ever happened. And I will actually, by the way, I will be using the donation funds to buy that. That's kind of the point of them, is so that I can buy farm sim related stuff. And, you know, other games, maybe Cattle and Crops if it is real. I don't know if I would buy Professional Farmer or Farm Expert or whatever they want to call it this time around, but it's UIG. If there is any company, any developer, any publisher in the world that does not deserve my business, it is UIG. Because all they ever release is shovelware. And yes, they've got the backing of, I think it's Namco Bandai or something like that for their new quote-unquote game. It's gonna be... I can guarantee about 90% it's gonna be shovelware. It's gonna be broken, it's not gonna work properly, it's gonna have no licenses whatsoever, it's gonna be essentially worthless, and they're gonna sell it for $20-30 or euros. That's my predictions for Farm Professional Expert person. The new UIG simulator that has been announced and is being made. And they'll claim, oh well, you can invent your own brands to suit the game. And no, that's not how a simulator works. I'm yet to see a driving simulator, with the exception of Or Factor, because they genuinely couldn't get the licenses to the cars, where the entire point was to drive rip-offs of real vehicles. Bad rip-offs at that. Or Factor at least had good physics. And you know, I do play racing sims quite a lot. And I've come back to Assetto Corsa, believe it or not. I've returned to Assetto Corsa, and oh my god, I can drive a car in Assetto Corsa now, and that is amazing. I can actually stay on a track. The issue, I'm gonna kind of jump to mods now, because that's kind of the crux of this conversation, with this little chat that I'm having at the moment. I know it's one-sided, but if you guys want to reply to anything I say, just put it in the comments. Mods. You'll notice that while I do have a very large mod list, a lot of the mods just don't stack up against the in-game equipment. And before I actually go on to that, I'm just gonna say one thing. One small thing. And it is related to the video, unusually enough. It just wouldn't be Christmas without some blatant consumerism. And that's kind of why I'm doing a Christmas special. Well, I'll have mid-roll ads because this is going to be well over an hour. This is going to be the only video that I ever put mid-roll ads on. Specials are the only videos that I actually put mid-roll ads on. But blatant consumerism. I'm going to sell all of the compost. All of it. There's about 400,000 litres of compost there. I'm going to get rid of the lot after I hook the Massey up to the conveyor, of course. And there we go. I think, yep, I switched it off. So let's go get rid of the compost, and I did fast forward time a bit there just to tick the hour over. The price isn't as good as it was during the Great Demand. I could have made a lot more money than I did. But you know, I just, you know, I just wanted to do things. I just wanted to get rid of it, really. And there's a reason. I wanted to buy some Christmas presents for myself. And we'll get to that at the very end of the video. But going back to mods, you'll notice that I don't particularly use all that many. I do have a rather large selection available, but I think I need to go through it all again and get rid of some of them. Because the conveyors, they do add something to the game. They're actually useful. They're going to stay. The New Holland pack, well made, well thought out. They're going to stay. The Marshall trailer I'm using there, the QN25 I think it is. That's going to stay. Most of the harvesters are going to stay. I'm in two minds about the LS11 pack, to be honest, because it just isn't high enough. It's quality, but it's not brilliant quality. And there's the issue with the mods. There's the big issue with mods in 2015. There are a lot of quality mods out there. But as soon as you put them beside a piece of Giant's equipment, as soon as you put them beside a default in-game piece of equipment, the mod falls flat. One of the very few, and I need to update my beta extension for this, because there has been a fix release for beta extension. Woo! One of the very, 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 very few mods that actually stands up against stands up against Giants is the Krone Ultima. The Ultima Baylor, which, I'm gonna be honest, I think it rightly won the mod contest. I didn't agree with the rules and the methods Giants used. I honestly don't think the public vote system was the best way to go. If they had, a group of judges of some description, whether it be they select, 5 English-speaking YouTubers, 5 German-speaking YouTubers, and 5 American YouTubers. I say English-speaking and American as they're 2 separate things. 5 British and Irish, 5, German speaking, 5 maybe from France or something, and have a panel of 20 or 30 judges, volunteer judges at that, and then kind of have their own in-house judging panel, which I think they did. Maybe representatives from, seeing as they are in the game, New Holland, or Case New Holland, Deutz, a couple of representatives from the actual companies in the game would have been nice. And I think that if they had done that, the mod contest results would have been respected a lot better than they have been. My apologies, I coughed. As it stands, the mod contest results are kind of null and void because the rules that Giants made really depended on what language it was translated into. And here I am after realizing, hang on a second, the forage wagon can take compost. I think. And it can. Yeah, the Giants mod contest, the issue was their own rules. They were inconsistent and somewhat arbitrarily applied. I'm gonna just change the mix on this tractor now and just turn it down a bit and turn down this next segment as well. So there's another segment. That first break you saw was actually me letting my wheel cool down a bit and taking a break for maybe half an hour to an hour just to calm myself down, entertain myself a small bit, because this was just several hours of me driving around, which was cool. I don't mind it, but it grates so very quickly. But yeah, mods in 2015, and the modding community, and dare I say, I'm not calling anybody out here, not calling out any viewers or any modders or whatever. Some modders, and I'm not going to name names, but you can probably guess who they are, have quit because, they gave this to somebody and they gave it to somebody and now it's released on a website and I didn't want that. Well, you shouldn't have given it to people if you don't want it released. And I know that's a bit rich coming from me when I'm going to be giving it to some of you guys to test. However, I am going to try and vet people somehow, because Donetsk is gonna be a work in progress when it's being tested. It will not be complete. I do not want Donetsk being released unfinished or imperfect in any way. So the mod, the actual testing of it, I would love if I could do it all by myself, or have 1 or 2 IRL friends do it with me. But I don't have any friends in real life who play Farm Sim, so I'm kind of having to use Plan B, which is trusted viewers and trusted viewers and other YouTubers, essentially, because there's kind of an unwritten rule on YouTube that you don't share other people's mods, and I do have a couple of private mods that have been shared with me. by another YouTuber or two, and I don't use them. Partially out of respect, partially because I don't want to use private mods on my Let's Plays. I know that the map is private, technically speaking. But that's an edit that I did. Any edits I do, you can do. I'm an idiot. You can probably do better than me. Honestly, I edited the map to where it is right now in about an hour. Maybe 2. Donetsk so far has taken about 30. If not more. And that second cut you just saw, because there was one there, the tractor didn't teleport, you didn't just lag, I promise. That second cut was me checking the prices of the things I want to buy, and as I was driving along I was trying to do some maths, which is why the driving is a small bit erratic here. I was also watching YouTube videos and stuff on my phone while I was recording this, so that's why the driving has been a bit erratic. I was trying to entertain myself as I was going, and it succeeded a lot. Oh god. I'm definitely gonna have a nap when this is rendering. Or a cup of coffee, one of the two. But yeah. The modding community. 3 big name modders have quit. Because one just got bored of the game, which is fine. I'll name that one. That was Chris7710. He quit because he was just bored of the game. He got tired of the game, and that's perfectly fine. That's a reason that anyone can accept, and obviously people on Facebook are calling him out because, oh, he's such a crybaby. Oh, he quit because he couldn't take it. No, he quit because he got bored of the game. He said as much. Don't call him out for being a crybaby if he just got bored of the game. If and when I get bored of Farm Sim, I will quit. And I'll move on to making videos of other games. There are plenty of other games out there, and I'll continue with YouTube as long as I can. May come a day where I just physically can't do it anymore for whatever reason. But don't call somebody out for being a crybaby. Yes, he did quit for dubious reasons before, but his final quit was because he got bored of the game. He just didn't like Farm Sim anymore. Don't bitch about that. That's somebody moving on with their lives. You move on with yours. The other 2 who have quit, one I only heard about recently. One, just the community irritated him and bothered him so much that he just couldn't take it anymore. And I'll get to the community in a second. The other had a mod released without his permission. It was a private mod. I don't know the full story, so this is why I'm not naming names. Apparently he quote-unquote sold the mod via donations, and oh, if you donate X you get the mod. I'm never gonna do that. If you donate to me, you're no higher in the line to get Donetsk than anybody else. It might bump you up a small bit as a bit of a thank you, but under no circumstances do you feel like, you know, oh, I want to help testing Donetsk, I'd better donate. No, if you want to help me and help the channel, you donate. If you want Donetsk faster, well, leave a comment and I'll chat to you about it. Which reminds me, I still need to talk to somebody about Donetsk. I might try and talk to them today if I can, if they're online. I saw them the other day online. I meant to talk to them, but I'll get back to them. But yeah, if you want Donetsk, and if you want to be involved in testing Donetsk when it gets to testing, and that's probably a month or 2 away at this point, depending on how much I get done over the next few days, when I'm just going to be... I'm going to be honest, I'm going to be playing iRacing. The tracks up this week are a bit crap, in my opinion. Okayama Full, USA Speedway, and I might try some Legends at Oxford, but my god, that is a horrible track. Dara Dash is a terrible track. I didn't check where the trucks are for the Pickup Cup. By the way, the Dara Dash and Pickup Cup, if I ever mention them, they are just for fun series, using old Indy cars and old NASCAR trucks on old versions of tracks that iRacing just gave to everybody for free, as well as the vehicles. So that's I have to commend iRacing for that one. It was just as I was about to come back to it as well, or just after, not long after I left the first time. That happened. I was kind of waiting until Black Friday to get back into iRacing anyway. But yeah, new vehicles and series and stuff, and props to iRacing for doing it. I might do some just for fun series. Mazda Cup is at Okayama Full, which is... I really need to learn that track, because it is a good track, and it is relatively easy. But if I'm trying to go fast, I have issues. Last week's race at the Mazda Cup was at Summit Point. I do have a replay saved and I might upload it at some point. Summit Point full circuit. I had a rather uneventful race there, but I won. Basically what happened, I think, I never checked the replay to see exactly what happened to this guy. I was solidly in second by about 5 seconds, and kind of keeping the gap around 5 seconds, and third place was pretty much 30 seconds down the road from me after 4 or 5 laps, because I was actually going consistently fast for once. And what happened was the leader spun out in exactly the wrong place in exactly the wrong way, and at Summit Point, was it Summit Point? I think so. At the track that it was running, there are areas where the track, where the ground is there in visual form, but if you go like over certain areas, you will just fall through the ground, respawn the pits, and magically get towed there or whatever. And that's essentially race over for you, competitively anyway. And what I think happened was the leader had spun into one of these areas, fallen off the track, and died, essentially. And that happened to me when I was running second in Mazda Cup. I think the race previous, I was running second, strong second position, and I fell off the track and died. And that was the end of the race for me. But I took the lead after that and just kind of cruised around, spun once. I kind of got a bit... I'm not going to say reckless. Reckless isn't the word, it's not scrappy either, it's just... I got a bit messy towards the end of the race and picked up a bunch of incidents that I shouldn't have, and I spun when I shouldn't have, and now I'm filling up the New Holland because I really should. And yeah, I just kind of lost concentration because my lead was so much that I could spin, recover, and still have 6 or 7 seconds of a gap. And you know, it's hard to keep your composure and your concentration when you pretty much know you've got the race won, and you just have to come around and complete the laps, because that's exactly when you're going to lose concentration, is when you're just trying to, you know, when you don't really care about how fast you go, is when you fall off the track and make all these silly mistakes. But I won the race anyway, and I got my first Mazda Cup win with my new account. The other one was tied to my Steam, and I didn't want that as such. And I did get a Mazda Cup win there at Charlotte Road back in the day. That was a fun race actually. Similar circumstances. First place fell off the road, and I inherited the lead because they made a mistake. Although on Charlotte Road there is actually no place where you can fall off the map entirely. So I think they hit a wall or something and had to pit for repairs. Well, had to pit for a quick repair, but the pit speed limit cost them, or getting the tow cost them. So it's a risk. They obviously took a risk and failed. The same thing with the leader in the race that I won. He, I think it was a guy. I think it was a male name anyway. They took a risk that they probably shouldn't have, and it came back and bit them immediately, and they spun, fell off the track, and lost the lead, and probably ended up a lap or two down as a result, which was always a bit of a shame. But I guess that's the fun of racing games. Racing sims, or whatever you want to call them. I think I might try and do more Mazda Cup and Oval this week. Over the next couple of weeks actually, because I want to try and get a D road license. So that I can drive the Pontiac Solstice, same thing. I actually like the Solstice. I'm one of those weird people who actually does like the Pontiac Solstice in iRacing. And the nickname Solstice is very well earned. It is the slowest car by far in iRacing. I think there's a Volkswagen Jetta that's a bit slower around the Nürburgring than it, but the Pontiac Solstice, my god, the Solstice. The steering wheel feels like jelly. There's just so much play. It just feels like the tires have no grip, and I've been driving Mazda Cup car and the Indy car, which is the 2011 Indy car, which is just no grip whatsoever at low speed. As soon as you get it up to speed, though, that thing just grips forever, more or less. You can spin it quite easily, especially if you're messing about. And I've managed to create a Daytona setup that makes the car incredibly unstable. Comically so, in fact. There's no Daytona baseline in iRacing for the 2011 Indy car. So I was messing about on 2011. The free old version of Daytona, whatever that is. I was messing about on that, and I created a setup that was excessively loose, and I spun out at 220 miles an hour. That was fun. I've never seen a car that deranged. So, we are coming to the end of this pre-recorded segment, you will be glad to hear. I'm not quite sure what I did after this, because that looks like that might be the last load of compost. Oh yeah, I moved everything in and put it away. That's what I did next. I remembered. Yeah, I know that I haven't been having a particularly festive chat, but why not? I'm gonna end this by, and I might have a little bit of a gap of blackness in between this segment and the next bit, so just bear with me. There will be another bit after this. There will be more video. Because I want to end this segment, because I didn't really do it in the bit that I recorded earlier on. The quote-unquote live bit. I just want to kind of say, I didn't fall asleep there. I was just trying to think of how I want to say this. I'm not particularly religious. I consider myself atheist, although I do the whole religious ceremonies thing and stuff like that. But I think Christmas is a very special time of year nonetheless. It is the time of year where you can... It's one of the few days of the year for most people where they can just sit and chat with family. And it's definitely one of the days of the year that no matter how good or bad your year has been, you can put that all aside. And this is what I think everybody should do, is just forget the other 364 days of 2015. Technically 357 on Christmas Day. Forget the 356 days preceding it. No, 357 days preceding it. Forget all of them. They didn't happen. Christmas is your day. Maybe your birthday is, December 29th. You got 2 days this year. My birthday was back in August. I got a day and a half, I'm gonna say. My birthday for me is just another day most of the time. Christmas Day is the day where, no matter how good or bad the year has been, I think it's a day that you should spend with family. I live in Ireland. There's no Thanksgiving here. This Christmas Day is the day we give thanks, in a way, and I think it should be that way for everyone, where you're just thankful for, having a loving family in your life. And I haven't had the best year, or the best month even. It's had December's been the month from hell. I've been saying this to all my friends. It's just been the absolute month from hell. Everything that I'd feared would happen has happened, kind of, and there were one or two good things, but they kind of fizzled out very quickly. But that doesn't mean Christmas is cancelled. It just means Christmas is more special. And I think no matter how good or bad a year you've had in 2015, and even if you're watching this on Boxing Day or whatever it's called, 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th, no matter when you're watching this, just take a day, even an hour, and just, if you live by yourself, just sit and think, who matters to you? Who really, really matters? It might be me, because I'm apparently vaguely entertaining at times. It might be your best friend. It might be your girlfriend or boyfriend or life partner. It might be your husband or wife. Just think about them for an hour. And just sit down, think about them, and be thankful they're there. Be thankful they are in your life, because we lose people, and that's also a part of life. But Christmas, I'm gonna sound like a priest here. I apologize. I said I'm not religious, but Christmas is the day where, for Christians, I think it's a day that should be celebrated by people of all denominations. Because to me, it's just the day of hope. Christmas Day is the day of hope. And yes, there's the commercial aspect and whatever, but Christmas Day is... it's an eerie day, because nothing here is open. Everywhere is shut. And my sister does work Christmas Day because she works... I think she's working this year. She works in a retirement home, or a care home, whichever you want to call it. And obviously they can't shut Christmas Day, so everybody gets a few hours, and I think they're paid overtime just for showing up for 3 or 4 hours, which my sister's never going to complain about that. But you know, if you're Christian, it's the birth of Jesus. The birth of Jesus Christ. If you're Muslim, well, Jesus is a Muslim prophet. Happen to know that. If you're Jewish, Happy Hanukkah. Hanukkah's around this time of year, so that kind of works. If no matter what religion you are, you should take the 25th of December and just hold it as your day of hope. I'm an atheist. It's my day of hope. It's the day where I can sit and be thankful for what I have, and hope I can get just that little bit more in the next 12 months. I think over the past 12 months with YouTube anyway, with the channel, I got more than I could ever have expected. I kind of hoped this time last year that today I would have 100 and 150 subs. I never thought I'd get 400, almost 500. Next year I hope to get up to 1,000 total, not during the year. Just I hope to gain 600 subs next year instead of 400. It's a small increase over what I got this year, so it's not unrealistic. I'm hoping you guys can somehow blow that out of the water, but live in hope. Anyway, I'm going to hand over now, because this video has been black for a surprisingly long amount of time. I'm going to hand over to Past Me to talk about the presents that I bought at the shop after I'd recorded this. So it's over to Past Me now to round out the video and round out the year on the channel. Thank you, future me. Now, it's time to see what I bought. I've bought a few things. So here they are. We'll start off over here. Got an Amazon Profi Hopper. That's going to come in handy for other things. We also have a JCB telehandler, a pallet fork, and some blades for the Mengele. The pallet fork, again, will be useful for other things, not just moving the blades around. Also got some new mowers and a windrower. Now, I've mentioned other things a couple of times. To get to them, you'll need to hop into this guy. And I'm going to use keyboard because I've just remembered I forgot to set up I forgot to set up my wheel. Oh dear. So, the final thing we bought, things we bought with our money we got from the money we got from all the compost is, and there's a hint, sheeps. We've got sheeps. Look at the sheeps. We have 50 sheep. So we're going to be using the Profi Hopper to clean up the sides of the road, essentially. Do I have... or should I say, can these carry grass at all? No. Can I cheese it with one of these guys? I might just put grass into the thing. Into multi-fruit mod. It is tempting. Anyway, yeah. That's it for the Christmas special. And that's it for 2015 from me. I am gonna take a small break from making videos now because today is the 22nd, I want to say. IRL, where's my phone? My phone is my calendar and clock. Yes, today is the 22nd, and I was up all night recording the previous bit, so yeah. 23rd is a bit of a write-off. 24th is Family Tradition Day, where we go shopping and go out for dinner. 25th is obviously Christmas Day, when you'll be seeing this. Ooh. And I want to just take a break until the new year. I'll be back on January 1st with probably another special, and just for the sake of evenness, I'll put the other special on Mulroy. So yeah, thank you all very much for watching. I hope you have a very good day, or had a very good Christmas if you're watching this later. If you're watching this on Christmas Day, please go spend time with your family now. Thank you all very much for watching. And, well, goodbye, Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year.